How a client added 125 new members in under 1 year. So in this video, I'm going to explain the exact steps this client has took and also what you can do to replicate this kind of result. Now, firstly, before I start, I need to show you some proof because at the end of the day, anyone can make stuff up. So I want to make sure that you guys know that this is the real deal as well. So let me just quickly go here. This is in our main group. You can see here the client has said it here, and November wins, new students, 125 new in this space in so far this year. It's actually been under a year. Now, why am I showing you this? Firstly, is to show you the proof that it works. Secondly, I want to also explain to you the shifts that I've seen that have happened this year in the sense of how you market and how you actually get results. Now, Steve came to us firstly because his ads were not performing well. He was having a lot of no-shows. He was having just basically not as much traction as what it was a couple of years back. Steve actually went through my coaching program quite a few years ago now. But as we all know, marketing changes a lot. Online marketing, what worked a year ago, doesn't work as well as it does now. Now, what I wanted to go over with you is I'm going to share my screen and stuff and explain to you, like, really, what are the steps? What is the change that's been happening? Why is it that why it's also been happening as well? So firstly, let's talk about why. Why is basically is because of the economic climate right now. There's so much to do with cost of living. People are scared to spend their money. It's not that they don't have the money, most do. It's just that they're cautious. They want to take their time. They want to make sure that they're investing it in the right place. If it's for this particular client, as they're targeting parents, so they wanted to, obviously parents want to make sure that the kid is going to the right place, and having something like this as for a membership based business, it's very, very important, because when you're dealing with actual kids and stuff, people's trust levels are very, very low these days. I'm sure it's the same with you. You're seeing all these ads about guarantee this, guarantee that, don't do this, I'll pay you everything and stuff. Now, I've spoke to many people and they've all said to me is that they just don't believe it anymore. They just see it because most people just can't get results. And the reason why I shared that to you, that first thing, I mean, there's tons more results in that group, but this is particularly about that particular client. It's having a system. So I want to explain to you there are three phases to this system that I'm going to go over. And this is what I've seen has evolved massively. I've had a system called the TAP system for quite a few years now, but it's actually evolved a lot more than what it used to be. So I'm going to explain to you first thing. So let me just quickly bring it back to here. Now, firstly, let's talk about what the old way is. That's the new way that you can see. Now, the old way is this. So running ads, basically either you're running a lead ad or something like this, or some kind of advert. If you're doing organic, then obviously you're not doing ads itself, but it'll be more manual. So the organic version would be like this, where people comment and stuff and you follow in Messenger and things. If you're still doing that approach, it's not that it doesn't work anymore. We actually say nowadays you should have a bit of both. But the thing is, having ads itself is a much faster way. You generally will get leads a lot quicker. It's all about speed of implementation. Eventually, you'll get to a point where your ads will start costing you quite a bit, which is normal. And that's where you need to start adding organic stuff as well. Now, the old way of doing this is you would get you do a Facebook lead ad, you get cheap leads, you ring them, no one answers and stuff like. So I'm sure you probably go through this process yourself if you're running ads, and it's a very tiresome way. It's not that. One of the things I do want to highlight is we still recommend you ring the leads, because you get much better response when someone actually speaks to someone. The show up rate is a lot higher. Everyone's trying to automate everything. That's one big shift I've seen this year, is that automations, we found that stripping them out more is actually working better. So and this is why our clients are getting results like this. There's also another client that's still working with us, who added 200 members within a year. So it's a proven process. Now, what I want to show you is like the new way of doing ads is basically this. You want to have like the kind of ads that we do are more longer based, more kind of story based. And basically you have a I mean, depending on how you work with us, you know, we write the ads for some clients as well. So what we find is this, is that the ad itself is just an entry point. When someone opts in, then you have these automatic follow-ups and text and emails. That's a very, very important step to have. If you don't have this, you're going to struggle quite a bit with it. You know, it's just it's an important step to have. Then retargeting just doesn't need ads, but it also means emails and SMS and stuff, and then people show up. Now the bit that has changed massively, especially this year, is this section here, content marketing. This didn't used to be as important as a few years back. I mean, don't get me wrong, you still had to do content, but the thing is, nowadays, because the trust levels are so low, people need to see more content. They need to see the right kind of content. It's not just a matter of just slapping a few photos up here and there and saying, yeah, that's my content done for the day. The content that we see that is really important is video content, just like this one with you, is also explaining to people why. You know, it's very easy for someone to just throw up a result and say, yeah, we're getting this. But if you're showing to people why, then they're very likely to take action. Very much similar to what I'm doing here. I'm explaining to you how this client here got this result. You know, so let me go back here. So this is the new way is this. Basically, you're having to do this section at the back end is more important. Now, this is the bit that I know most people are not doing. Even my competitors are not doing this kind of stuff for their own things. And, you know, it's very, very important to have this element. Now, one of the other big shifts that I've seen is when you do this kind of stuff. Let me just bring it back to myself here. So what I'm trying to show you here is basically that once you have a system working in the sense of you're getting leads, the thing is now you need to be nurturing the leads. So that's the big shift I've seen that's happened, is that most people don't have an issue with leads. They've got an issue with how to convert the leads. I guarantee if you're running ads or you've been in business for a while, you have tons of leads already. The key is knowing how to actually convince someone in an ethical way, in the sense that you're the best choice for them. This is the bit that's changed a lot this year, is that the trust level is so low for people these days, is that then it takes longer for people to convert. Now, what I've been showing with my clients is that this is why we work with clients for 12 months now rather than just a few months and things, because we've seen this shift happen. And for people to get actual really meaningful results where they get clients and then clients stick with them for longer, is that you need to be working on the back end systems. Now, if I share my screen again and just explain to you a bit more as well, a few more things. Here we go. So let me minimize this. Cool. All right. So this is basically our roadmap. This is what we take people through. This is what we take clients through. Anyone that has any kind of coaching program is what we take them through, really. So now what I want to show you here is that it's very, very important to know exactly who you're going after. Because if you don't know this, then your ads will not perform well. You will not have the right kind of clients coming in. You'll be chasing people so much. Now, after you have this done, you need to be having a good message, a message in the sense that you need to have a way to attract them. It's not just a matter of just putting an ad up and just trying to go for everyone and saying, hey, we can help you. You know, you need to be specific in the sense of what exactly can you help with. For example, with what we do right now, we help with people with 3 phases. It's like lead generation, then lead nurturing, and then scaling. So they're the 3 aspects that I know that most people can't compete with me, because most people in the industry, like all the other agencies and stuff, they haven't been through the whole process. I've sold businesses. I've sold a business of my own. I've ran 6 other businesses myself. There's a lot of track record in the sense of what I've done. I've made a lot of mistakes. And this is exactly what we show clients. Now, after you have this, after that, you need a product journey, in the sense you need to have a way for someone to come in at a very low cost, or some kind of way to build trust. Once you have this is where you start building lead magnet. So this is offer creation. You're creating the offer. Lead magnet is the sense of, How do you get someone's email address and phone contact numbers? Now, obviously, for example, in the martial arts industry, most people run 1 week free class or whatever it is. But what I'm trying to explain to you, that is a lead magnet. It's not a customer magnet, meaning that don't treat it in the same way as someone thinking that they're actually going to buy from you straight away. Because once you get a lead, then the marketing really starts, because from that section here, this here is where you need to, it takes time to work, because you need to have what I call the celebrity effect, which is where people see you everywhere and stuff, where we incorporate lead retargeting in emails, SMS, and all these kind of things. And of course, we have a much more robust email retargeting system that we also introduced. But the bit that shifted is this here. Content marketing is kind of been brought down a little bit, I would say now, where content marketing is still a very, very important step. So obviously, once you get a lead, you have a traffic source, which is like Facebook or Instagram, whatever you're using. Now, this is why it's so important to have these things. So this is the roadmap. Now, what I want to show you is this is the phase one. This is what we help clients build. And what the tap system, this is the original tap system in the sense, still works to this day, but there are more phases that have been added in now, because of like the way the industry and the market has changed. So on here, you can see like we obviously have the way to get someone's leads. We have an email system. So it's basically what I've just shown you on the other one, but more of like a map for you. This section here is what everyone tries to ignore, which is when a lead comes in, phoning people. Now we have like a AI employee, which actually does this follow-up for people, which is working really well. And then it books appointments and things like that for our clients. This is where automation is going to a next level. But I still highly recommend that people should speak to people. One of the big key things that I'm noticing is that people are really wanting human touch, like human kind of experience to it, because of like the pandemic and all that kind of stuff that happened. People went an extreme where it wasn't, you couldn't meet anyone. As you know, you went through this yourself. So but everyone started automating everything and saying, yeah, I'm not going to speak to anyone. But it's flipped back, where it's going more further, where people actually really are wanting this stuff more, because it builds trust. And I think people miss it. The thing about what we've also introduced is in-person events for our clients, and we've noticed that is really, really powerful. So what I'm trying to show you here is that this is an important thing to know, that this is phase one. Once you've done phase one, you need to make sure this works. You need to make sure that people are going through your emails, they're booking in, they're actually converting emails. Then you have your retargeting audiences and stuff. Your videos need to be converting. So you can see that this thing takes time, because we need to have well crafted emails, really strategic kind of video content, and then of course you have your follow-up. Now, of course, after this, then you have more automations that go into more emails and things like that. So it's of the bit here is like, is the follow-up for show up rates, things like that. There are still other stages that go after this. Now, here's like a 7-figure roadmap from a mentor of mine, where I learned a lot of this stuff as well from. This is one of his diagrams, which I thought was really, really good. So if you're at this stage where you're trying to get 0 to 10K, the biggest thing you need to be working on is proof, getting more results, getting in tons of results, so that your competition can't compete with you. This is how I scaled my own business. And then basically, this is the section where I'm at in my own, where I'm going towards the 50K mark. And this is where promotions and funnels and things like this come into stage. Now, depending on what kind of business you have, you might just be wanting to stay here. There are some people that, like myself, which want to get to this level here, and well, actually to the 100K plus. But it depends on the business model and all that kind of stuff. That's it. I've recorded a separate video on this thing. So this is what I'm trying to show you, is that there are processes to this. And this is where you need to be knowing is that lead flow stages, they differ. They're different at different stages. What gets you to 10K will not be the same that gets you to 50K. I'm noticing this a lot with my own stuff. What I used to do to getting to 10K is very easy for me now, because I've done it so many times. But for getting to like 50K, I'm noticing that there's some different tactics and different things that we're working on. This is exactly what I show my clients, what I'm experiencing with my own stuff. And this is why we have so much success with it. Now, what I want to just explain to you is that phase one is all about lead generation. I'll just put lead gen. Phase two is about, I'd say, emotional content marketing. Now, of course, you have all the automations and all that kind of stuff in the back end of this. You need to have your lead gen system working first. So these are all systems. And this is what we're doing with helping with clients build this, because this kind of thing takes time. And then phase three, this is where you scale. When you scale, things break generally, and that's a good thing, because then then what we realize is that we need to improve the lead generation system a bit more. We need to actually get better on content. So scaling itself is a longer journey itself. So what I'm trying to show you here is that if you're not looking at this in the sense of phases and what it is, what everyone in the industry is just doing is just thinking of this all the time. But because of the way the market has shifted and everything, is that they're generally just not aware that this section here is all about lead nurturing, lead content, and like having a presence online that makes people go, wow, I want to go and work with this guy or this company. So this is where you can also say authority comes in. This takes time to build authority. If you've been doing this for many years, it's very likely you're not showing it to people. And scaling, this is where you have other, like you have Facebook now, we have Instagram, we have LinkedIn, all these other things come into play. These are just traffic sources. So you don't need to be changing traffic all the time. All you need to do is just get one to work. Facebook's the easiest, in my opinion. Once that's working, build all this bottom bit. And then when you get to the scale bit, then it's just about replicating it into, all these other channels. And that obviously takes time. Now, of course, you have this thing. Then, of course, depending on your type of business you have, if you have a monthly recurring revenue business, which every business should be. So this is where you need to be working on retention, keeping clients, making sure that you're getting them results, making sure that they're referring people. Nowadays, we are getting lots of referrals as well, because people are getting results. If you don't get referrals in your business, then there is something wrong, or not wrong. Something you need to work on, which is your product/service needs to be better. If someone is inclined to refer their friends or people to your business, that is a very, very powerful stage to be in. And a lot of times I find is that some people just concentrate on referrals and stuff. Once they have that working, they just stop marketing itself, which in my opinion is not the best way of doing. But this is really important that you need to understand is marketing and sales go hand in hand, and this is exactly how we've been doing it, and this is exactly what we did with Steve, because we took him through the process. We actually sat down with him. He came to our in-person event as well, where we dug deep into this kind of stuff. Okay, what are the bits that have broken that are not working? Okay, let's add elements to that. Let's add more content. Let's add more text and emails, and but then once you see it working, that's when you can start scaling it and stuff. So yeah, so very, very powerful system. But this is why I'm recording this video for you, is to explain to you that this is not just a simple thing as what it used to be, which was just run one lead form ad and that's it. I've even noticed with my own stuff is that things are needing a more strategic kind of way of working with your leads, and just being consistent. Consistency is the biggest one as well. Like, I don't see many clients being consistent. The kind of content they do is very, very plain. It doesn't really show their culture or anything like that. So yeah, so basically I wanted to explain this to you. I'm hoping this video is really helpful for you, and I will catch you in the next video.